On today's episode, I'm going to head down to Fullerton to reinstall one of the tires on my 911. I'm going to Supreme Power, which specializes in these higher end type wheels, so I'm going to have them take care of me on that. In previous episodes, I used a tire shop that's local to me. I didn't want to hassle with driving far away to get this service done. But on this episode, I actually took the extra mile and went to a shop that has the right equipment for higher end wheels. And that way they take care of me and my wheels end up not getting any scratches, which saves me time from having to buff and polish my wheels after the service is done. I'm just about ready to put my wheels back on my car. So the next thing I'm gonna do now is get my car on the ramp, and then I have my jack stands over here so I can lift up this side and start pulling out the wheels. So I just finished one side of my car, and now I'm gonna go to the other side and do the exact same thing. I have my wheels all set up. The rear's over here because I back parked into my garage so I could work right away on the rear. Then I'll move on to the front wheels. I'm glad that I got a lot of things done in preparation for Monterey Car Week for my 911. I actually created a checklist so that I could keep track of all the things that I do to my car. And every time I complete a task, I just kind of check mark it so that way I know that I can move on to the next task. So some of the things that I want to discuss that I already completed that were on my list of goals is on the previous episode, I talked about getting an alignment and then also configuring my wing to be fixed so that the light doesn't turn on anymore. So that's one of the things that I can check off my checklist. And then of course, on the previous episode, I also talked about making my front splitters and rear splitters. So here's a peek of the custom size diffusers that I made for my car. This is the same material that I used for the side diffusers as well as the rear diffusers on my car. So it's pretty much uniform now. I have everything from the back towards the front, all about 4¼ inches off the ground. So it's pretty leveled right now and it's uniform as far as aerodynamics. One of the things that I need to realign too while I was at it, since I was working on the splitters, was readjust the angle of my splitters, because when I opened my door a few months ago, I actually stepped on it. So it kind of started hanging down a little bit. So while I was putting the rear and the front splitters, I went ahead and removed this and then bent the brackets so it lines up straight again. I also had a check engine light on my car, and when I ran the code, it came up to a low level in the tank, but it didn't specify which tank. So I checked all my fluids on my car and I noticed the coolant level was a little bit below minimum. So I assumed that was the problem. So I added just a little bit distilled water to get it to close to the maximum range, and I've driven it for about 200 miles already and the light hasn't come back. So it seems to fix the problem. Another thing that I wanted to get done is also getting my wheels installed, because that's not something I can do myself here at home. So I have to rely on a shop to do that. So a couple things that I really wanted to get on my priority list were things that were done at a shop, because I don't have the tools here at home to do it myself. I'm happy that my wheels are back on. It's been about 4 months since I removed them and put my stock lobster forks on. So the new tires are on, and then I did something a little bit different for the valve stem caps. And right now it's pretty hard to tell which one is it, but it's actually this one right here. What I did was on the valve stem cap, I wanted to kind of match the chrome bolts. So I looked for a chrome cap, and then there's a circle that I covered in black, so it kind of blends in well with the rest of the bolts. What I also did with the wheels is, it's been about 2.5 years since I had these wheels refinished. So 2.5 years has gone by and I haven't polished or ceramic coated it. So I went ahead and did that when I was installing the wheels. So all 4 are freshly polished and ceramic coated. So here's a little teaser of my car and how it's pretty much prepped and ready to go for car week. Everything is all cleaned up. The pressure on the tires I checked today, and so those are all set. So the only thing left to do for my car is pretty much to gas it up and then also pack all my tools and necessary equipment for the long drive to Monterey. On the next vlog, I'll be joining some of my friends as we cruise all the way up to 5 to Monterey, as well as seeing some of the cars that are rolling with us up to car week. That's gonna do it for this episode. Thanks for joining, and I'll see you on the next one.